U.S. reopens Kyiv embassy after Ukraine firing of ATACMS missiles into Russia prompted potential strike threat. The United States said it had reopened its embassy in Kyiv late on Wednesday, after it had shut for the day, due to what it called the threat of a significant air attack. A day after Ukraine used American missiles to hit a target inside Russia, Russia had described the strike by U.S. missiles as an escalation in the 1,000-day-old war, while Ukraine's military spy agency said Russia was trying to sow panic by circulating fake online messages about a looming missile and drone attack. U.S. Embassy Kyiv has resumed services following a temporary shelter-in-place suspension earlier today. U.S. Ambassador to Ukraine Bridget Brink wrote on X, "We continue to encourage U.S. citizens to remain vigilant, monitor official Ukrainian sources for updates, and be prepared to shelter in place if an air alert is announced." The initial State Department statement on the embassy's website said the embassy would be closed out of an abundance of caution. Embassy employees, it said, were being instructed to shelter in place. The U.S. Embassy recommends U.S. citizens be prepared to immediately shelter in the event an air alert is announced. The Kremlin said it had no comment. A U.S. government source said the embassy closure was related to ongoing threats of air attacks. The Italian and Greek embassies said they too had closed their doors. The French embassy remained open but urged its citizens to be cautious. President Volodymyr Zelensky said that panic-inducing messages circulated today only help Russia, but warned Ukrainians to pay close attention to air raid alerts. However many brutal and treacherous attacks by Russia we have endured, it is always important to pay attention to air raid warnings, he said in his nightly video address. We have a neighbor that is insane. The GUR military intelligence body said, the enemy, unable to subdue Ukrainians by force, resorts to measures of intimidation and psychological pressure on society. We ask you to be vigilant and steadfast. Zelensky also expressed thanks for a new $275 million U.S. military aid package, announced by the State Department focusing on ammunition, drones, and missiles. Ukraine on Tuesday used U.S. ATACMS missiles to attack an arms depot inside Russia, making use of newly granted permission from the outgoing administration of U.S. President Joe Biden on the 1,000th day of Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine. Russia has been signaling to the United States and its allies for weeks that if they give permission to Ukraine to strike deep into Russian territory with Western-supplied missiles, then Moscow will consider it a major escalation. Russian Foreign Intelligence Chief Sergei Naryshkin said in an interview published on Wednesday that Moscow would retaliate against NATO countries that facilitate long-range Ukrainian missile strikes against Russian territory.